Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new IDontWorkHereLady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first story is titled, I'm Not Your Uber Driver Lady. I was living in a university area and parking was really hard to find. I found a great spot out front and had to run back up to my apartment and grab something and got back down to my car. I was sitting in my car getting my phone ready with music before I left. While doing that, my two back doors open up and two kids climb in. They don't speak great English and are trying to tell me where to go. I turned around and told them that I'm not an Uber driver. So they sat in the back of my car on their phones trying to figure out what was going on with their Uber. I had to scream, "Get out of my car. This is not the place to figure out your Uber app." But the look on their faces when everything clicked that they were lounging in the back of a stranger's car and were getting yelled at was priceless. The next story is titled, We Are Closed. No, I am not letting you in. Good night. Our store closed tonight for Christmas Eve at 6 p.m. Our store is 24/7, so it hardly ever closes ever. I was working in the jewelry department since early that morning and was absolutely overwhelmed with people and checking customers out at the same time. They announced the store was about to close, all departments are closed, and for everyone to proceed to a register. I checked people out while everyone not on a register swept the store, pulling everyone to the checkouts asking them to leave. We worked hard all day and finally, all the customers were gone, and they said we can clock out and have a Merry Christmas. I was strolling out of the back like I was on fire. They let us have 30 minutes to do some quick shopping after closing for our hard work. We grabbed some groceries and some food, and lined up all socializing, sharing gifts, and having a good time waiting to check out. I met up with my husband, who also works there on the other end of the store. Our store manager was guarding the door with a big security guard. She wished us a Merry Christmas and let us out of the store. Understand that our store manager does not bow to anyone. She don't care who you are. If you aren't corporate, she will tell you to get the hell out and duck off with no hesitation, even to customers. During closing, she gave no ducks. She told everyone in the store 10 minutes till to get their stuff and get in line at a register. Anyone who dared to argue quickly got in line when she would say, "Okay, if you aren't going to check out, give me all your items and walk out the door or be thrown out." We merrily walked out to our car. I put the groceries up and an old man approaches us. I heard that you guys are closed tonight, is that true? Me, yep. Well, is there any way you can get us in the store? Me. No. We're closed. What? Please. Me, no. We are closed. I'm leaving. No, you are not leaving. This is ridiculous, you are being so rude. Where is your manager? Quote. I point at the store manager, who is literally 30 feet from me, who for extra hilarity, is currently shouting at a customer telling her she cannot come in, leave, or she will call the police. The timing was priceless. I smiled and milked that crap for all it was worth. Me, my name is X. Go tell her I wouldn't let you in the store. Let's go over there together. He just stood there in shock for a moment, with bewilderment in his eyes, knowing he lost. Oh, that's okay. Sorry. If that wasn't enough, my husband shouted, "Goodbye, get your stuff and get out," as we drove away. I was dead. The next story is titled, I Just Wanted You to Move Your Cart. So I went into a grocery store, Co-op, to grab some things. Some snacks and baking supplies. I grab a basket and go up the lanes, and every so often I would have to backtrack because of a blonde girl on her phone has blocked half the aisle with her cart. The cart was horizontal, so it completely blocked off the aisle. Anyways, after bumping into her at least 3 times, the third time being the most annoying as her cart is blocking the thing I need, cinnamon. And I can't around through to another aisle as the cart is literally in front of it, so I go up to her and ask. Me, excuse me, can you? Blonde, oh my god. I don't ducking work here. I'm not even wearing clothes from here. Me, that's not what. Blonde, do I look like I work here? Do I have some sort of worker aura that must make me work here? Oh my god. She pretty much interrupts me and goes back to her phone telling whoever it was, how she got mistaken for an employee. I don't say anything and just push her cart out of the way. Blonde, this my cart, you can't take it in. I grabbed the cinnamon and showed it to her. Me, I was asking you to move your cart so I could get the cinnamon. I didn't think you worked here. I just wanted you to move. She went kind of red in the face, straightened out her cart and left the aisle. I did see her a couple of times while I got the rest of my stuff, but she didn't look at me. The next story is entitled Woman at Universal Studios Japan. I am a 24-year-old female working in Osaka, Japan. Naoko, a work friend, invited me to Universal Studios Japan. I agreed, because USJ has owls, live, adorable, real owls at their Harry Potter adventure, which the US does not have. Naoko is nervous to go see them because she does not like big birds. I want to go, so I am asking her nicely to come with or wait for me to see them. While we are discussing this, someone taps me on the shoulder. I turn around and see a well-dressed mother and her 11-year-old daughter. They look pretty normal. The mother, Karen, is wearing a Harry Potter shirt, carrying several bags, and looking lost. Her daughter is begging to go on a ride. Karen pulls out a map and says, "Hey, do you speak English? I cannot figure out where ride is." I point in the general direction we came from. I tell her, I do. We just came from ride over there. Karen taps the map with a perfectly manicured talon. But where specifically? Naoko pops in, because she is the most helpful person in the world. That is not sarcastic, she is wonderful. You have pen, she asks. She mimes drawing on the map. I always have pens on me. I tell her, here, if you want, she'll circle it for you. Karen looks like I threatened to carve out her child's eyes and feed it to Izanami for breakfast. She jerks the sacred map to her chest. She tells me, do not touch our map. Just take us there. Naoko, like the kid from The Sixth Sense, whispers dramatically, we see owls. I can see how annoyed Karen is getting. I am thankful that Karen has made Naoko more interested in seeing the majestic sky cats. Anything, I think, is better than being around Karen. So I tell Karen that unfortunately the ducks have left the building and they will not return this season due to budget cuts in the duck account. I tell her, politely as I can, we are going to see the owls. Just ask one of the workers, we found a couple people who speak really good English. Naoko and I are off to see the wizard. Karen says loudly, just take us to the ride. Me, no. We have to go now. Karen, my daughter is going to be really upset if we don't get to the ride before closing. Me, talk to an employee, ma'am, I am not a tour guide. Karen, but you're American. Me, so? I live here now. Karen, so you should help me. Me, no thanks. Have a nice day. Karen then turns to her daughter and tells her that I am not going to show them where the ride is so they won't be able to do it before daddy finds them. This 11-year-old girl proceeds to fall onto the ground and start sobbing. Karen, don't you make a scene, freak out. So this girl is throwing an absolutely silent fit, pounding the ground with her hands, all while not making any noise. Naoko and I decide we are going to leave. Karen is just standing there while we leave, telling her daughter we ruined the day. Instead, of asking the super bilingual employees. It was so weird. The next story is titled, Lady, I work for the police, not Target. Few months back I worked as a police dispatcher. We were required to dress in business casual. So khakis and a button-down or polo. I'm assuming you've read the title and see where this is going. So after work one day the GF and I stopped by Target on the way home to grab a few things. I'm wearing, you guessed it, a red polo with khaki pants. I also have an ID badge on my belt denoting Communicator, Joe Schmo Police Department. Grabbed some olive oil, brought to my GF who told me she got some a few days ago. So I go back to olive oil aisle and put it back. I put it back in its proper place because I'm not an inconsiderate a-hole. Anyway. Lady comes up to me and asks where she can find some brand dog food. I just thought she was asking for my opinion, gave her a general direction. She went off. Like 5 minutes later I'm looking at Harry's razors, and I feel someone poke me on my shoulder. I turn and find the lady standing there looking displeased. Lady, my dog food wasn't where you said it was. Me, well, I dunno. I guess ask someone who works here. Lady, I am, you. Me, nope, don't work here, turns and looks away. Yes you do. You were stocking shelves. Me, yeah, don't talk to me. Lady grabs my arms and pulls me to face her. You ever get a sudden flare of anger? I did. Idiot touched me. Lady, young man, I'm a customer and you'd better. Me, don't you ducking touch me. My voice was a little raised now. Touch me again, you and I are going to have a problem. She was obviously taken aback. She said something about me being fired and a manger. She scurried away. I found my girlfriend and we went to check out. At this point it still hadn't really clicked that she thought I worked there. I just thought she was rude. We get to the self-checkout and lady with a target employee approach me and my girlfriend. Lady, that's him, that's your stock boy whom threatened me. Me, WTF? I don't work here lady, leave me the duck alone. Manager, looking nonplussed. You don't work here. Me, nope, this chick started bothering me then grabbed me. GF, he doesn't work here. Lady, don't you lie to me. You were stocking shelves and told me where to get dog food. Me, leave me alone or we're gonna have real problems. Lady, how about I call the police and tell them how you just threatened me. Me, I ducking dare you. I show her my ID badge. Let's see how that works out for you. I should mention the PD I worked for is in the same town as Target. The manager takes the opportunity and just says, have a nice evening, and motions the woman away, and she follows. She just sort of gaped at me when she saw that I was in fact, not an employee of Target, but of the police department she was going to call on me. Not a big story with fireworks, but still one to tell. Moral, beware wearing red polos and stay thirsty my friends. The next story is titled, Please Stop Using Acronyms. There was a well-upvoted post about this a while back that asked posters to please refrain from using dozens of acronyms, i.e., crazy lady equals CL, mum equals M, manager equals K, friend A equals KC, friend B equals ML, etc. etc. It gets very convoluted, confusing for the readers, and there are better ways to tell your stories. It seemed to stop for a while and now every other story uses acronyms and reads like a hard-to-follow script. Please don't. The next story is titled, Got Assaulted at a Grocery Store for Wearing a Manager Costume. I was shopping at a store that rhymes with Strafse this weekend on the way home from a really awesome date night with my fiancé, so I was dressed pretty nicely, black jacket, black skirt, and heels. Fiancé and I usually go our separate ways in the store to achieve the best efficiency of finishing our list as fast as possible, so I was alone when this interaction started. An older Karen, probably around 60, was putting around the soup aisle and hemming and hawing at the sale, 10 for $10, and I guess she saw me with my cart putting something back on the shelf. She cleared her throat a few times and stomped around, but obviously I was just minding my own business. K, hey. Lady. Me, deciding between Strafse brand mac and cheese or Kraft. K, hey you. Manager. Excuse me. Hey. Me, finally acknowledging her, oh me. I'm not a manager. Did you need some help or something? K, well obviously you're a manager, why else would you be dressed like that? Which of these soups count for the 10 for 10? Me, I'm not a manager, I don't work here, and I don't know, probably the ones that are directly labeled in the sign that says 10 for 10? K, what the hell is your problem? Me, you're the one yelling at me. Karen stomped over, wagging her finger at me like I was a child, yelling at me about customer service, how I should do my job and help her choose her soups, and all that's wrong with the youth today. Something also along the lines of me getting fired for incompetence, I don't know, I zoned out. Me, ma'am, if you need help please go up to one of the cashiers that work here and ask them, I'm here buying food like you. K, stop lying. Do you think I'm stupid? You're a ducking manager here. You're wearing the costume, you think you can just. Me, okay listen, I. Then Karen smacks my hand, making me drop the box of mac and cheese I was holding. K, don't ducking interrupt me. Me, what the hell lady, you just hit me. K, yeah I did. You interrupted me. Me, seriously what the hell? At this point my fiancé heard my yelling and zoomed over. He was also dressed nicely, button up, black slacks, the works. F, what's happening, babe, are you alright? Me, she just slapped my hand because she's too thick to hear me when I say I don't work here. F, what? K, you need to fire this idiot, she won't do her job. F, do you really think everyone dressed remotely nice is a manager? Crickets. K, well I know she is. She was putting back that jar earlier. Me, because I didn't want to buy it, you dumbass. K, you can't talk to me that way. Me, babe, grab an actual manager, please, I want to call the cops on this crazy idiot. K, I'm a paying customer. Me and F, so are we. This is getting long, so the rest of it went like this. She stepped back in shock that we both yelled at her and fiancé waved over some poor unsuspecting person. The actual manager got there and the lady started her BS again about how both me and my fiancé should get fired, how we suck, etc blah. She proudly admitted to hitting me, by the way, which was hilarious. The manager looked at us and back at her and told her to apologize for hitting me and that she should leave. She again mentioned my manager costume and how it's my fault. The manager, in his actual manager outfit, pointed at his badge and name tag, his specific all-black outfit, and tried to explain to her that all managers are dressed like he was, that we were definitely not managers just because we looked nice, and she's assaulting another customer. K, but she deserved it for talking back to me. The manager had this "I want to run you over with a car" look on his face, and he slowly spoke to her like she was 3, again explaining that we didn't work there. I piped up, asking the manager politely to inform the woman that if she didn't apologize I would like him to call the police and file for assault. The manager repeated this to the lady slowly, and the lady screeched and threw a can on the ground, swiped her arm through a bunch of the soups causing them to avalanche to the ground, and briskly waddled out of the store. We helped the manager pick up the soups, even though he kept saying sorry and that we didn't have to help him, and he asked if I really wanted to press charges. I said no, there's no point, I just thought it would make her go away, but if he wanted to make a police report I would be happy to provide my statement. We laughed about my manager costume and got a $30 gift card to use for our groceries. The next story is titled, You Don't Know Owner. You just insulted her niece. I went to the beach on my long weekend, a privately hotel-run beach. I am dutifully sunburned from it. I went to the beach with friends of my family and we got one of the few remaining chairs that are laid out for use. I came back from swimming first and because I felt tired, decided to move it to a shady spot nearer the beach business lifeguard shack. Now, I've been going to the beach for years and after waving at the cashier who's probably known me since diapers, I settle in. I pull the towel over my head partially to block the sun and begin my nap. Not 10 minutes later, I can hear the entitled mother yelling loudly at the cashier for beach activities shack. It was so obnoxious and loud it woke me straight up and I sit up. I glance over and a woman with a kid about 4 to 5 is arguing with the cashier about there being no cabanas left. It's a first come first serve policy on this beach. She is stating over and over she knows the owner of the beach and activity shack and she will be getting the cashier fired, which already sets me off on her. I can tell this is getting everyone on the beach annoyed cause she's practically screaming. Seeing as the security guards are starting their long walk from the hotel, it's a trail walk and it's not a short distance, and not wanting the woman to ruin anyone else's day, I get up and walk over. You know what happens next. Me is me. Cashier is cashier and M is entitled mother. Me, excuse me. Can you stop yelling and cussing? This is a family-friendly place. M, finally, a manager. Me, I'm not a manager. I'm not in uniform or anything. Points to bright yellow bathing suit which does not match blue-white uniforms. M, then why the duck are you over here? I demand to speak to a manager. I know the boss. I'll have you fired. Both of you. Go away, you wanna be idiot. Getting in people's business. You should be ashamed of yourself. Idiot. I share a look with the cashier. Cashier, I sincerely doubt you know anyone in management. M, of course I do. Look. I have the phone number. I'm calling. She proceeds to fake phone call on her phone. Cashier, you just called my CEO's niece a idiot. M, stares at me in disbelief. Q guard's arrival. Guard, hey Bambi. She causing a problem? Me and cashier, she was just leaving. M, grabs up her kid and leaves. Guard, cashier and I catch up for a bit before I return to my nap. Entitled Mum did not come back to beach. The next story is titled, That's My Husband, Not a Shuttle Driver. We were on vacation and stopped on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. We were trying to get in line before it got busy. The plan was my husband would drop me and my daughter off to get in line, then go park the rental car and join us. As he lets us off out front, an elderly woman approaches us. I'm a pretty friendly person, so I smiled at her and she started telling me she and her friend were German tourists who were separated from their group. Concerned, I looked around to direct them to the help ticket booth at the Falls check-in. Me, oh, let's get you some help. German, no, he will take us to our hotel, less than, pointing at my husband, greater than. Me, wait, what? No, he's going to park the car so we can see the falls. This is a private car. German, just take us to our hotel, waves her friend over and heads towards the car door. Our hotel is just up there, he will take us. Me, ma'am, this is my husband and our rental car. We just arrived last night and do not know the city. We are here to see the falls too. He is not driving you anywhere. German, how rude, he must. We are not Canadian. Me, well, we aren't Canadian either. I'm sure security can help you get a taxi, or you can call your hotel for their shuttle. German, I have no phone and know that will take too long. I am not paying. You are so rude. We are guests in this country and paying a lot of money for this trip. Me, to my husband, just go now, leave. Me, to her, ma'am, we too are visiting this country and paying a lot for this trip. We are not driving you anywhere. Good luck. German lady continues to scream how rude and awful we are as we walk away. Random people are now looking at my daughter and I like we did something wrong. I did get security to go check on her. The security guard reported she had her phone out and calling the hotel for their shuttle. She completely waved him off and said they were fine. The next story is titled, Woman Wants Me Fired from Somewhere I Don't Work, without actually speaking to me. This takes place in a care home where I would visit an old neighbor. I will call her Ruby in this tale. Ruby was basically bedridden and often napped while she had visitors. She also had a sweet tooth and loved her ice cream. If she was sleeping when I brought ice cream for her, I had permission to use the fridge in the day room to store this. Visitors could also get themselves a drink there for themselves and those they were visiting. Ruby's room door had a squeaky hinge. This plays a role. I went to visit Ruby with some ice cream. I signed the visitor's book and let myself in with the code. As I was closing the door behind me, it was tugged open by the woman in the title. She huffed and nudged past me. Ruby was sleeping, so I put my bag down and went to put the ice cream in the day room. As I passed the next room, the door opened and woman looked out. I nodded and went on my way. I chatted to one of the staff about Ruby and returned to her room. Not to make this too long over the visit, I popped in and out of Ruby's room a few times to get her ice cream, make her a cup of tea, etc. Each time I left the room, the woman would pop her head out and scowl at me. I said goodbye to Ruby at the end of my visit, and as I was signing out, the woman left the office and pointed me out to the manager of the home, who looked puzzled, and the woman stormed out. The manager waited until she left and then burst out laughing. The woman had just spent about 15 minutes complaining that a member of staff had ignored her, not offered her or her mother any ice cream, tea, coffee, etc. Ignored her requests for an update on her mother's care, and wanted the rude, uncaring, lazy person fired at once. So apparently that was me, the person she had never said a single word to. SMH at that one. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.